Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planner, CFP president and founder of TJ Stearns Inc., Tim Stearns, once again with us. Tim, welcome back in.
Peter, thanks again for having me.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate the time. And it's always an advantage to have a qualified, experienced advisor, certified financial planner, providing us perspective and guidance in this complex financial world, Tim. A lot going on here, but luckily you make it easy each and every week. And this week, no exception, brought us along a checklist for the 10 things we need to do when we're preparing for retirement.
Well, yes, Peter, and this is something that we send out to people that, are thinking about maybe coming to work with us. But also send this out to people that have been working with us for some time that are nearing retirement. So the title of it literally, and we'll be happy to get it out to people if they want to see it, it's free, but it's the 10 steps to prepare for retirement. Because I think a lot of people are not in the know and they need to know that they're able to do retirement, and make it successful.
Well, Tim, I like checklists, and simplest reason why, going to the grocery store. If I don't bring along that list from my wife, I often end up having to go back to the store or not getting a complete dinner that evening, and usually a little bit of fussed out. So checklists are helpful. And maybe a more serious example, even though they've probably taken hundreds, if not thousands of flights, pilots run through a checklist before they take off every single time, because in that case, a missed step could be a matter of life and death. Maybe preparing for retirement somewhere in between the two, but I would say it's a little closer to the pilots than the grocery store example.
Right. I agree. So I'm going to launch into it because I think, we don't have that much time and I want to make sure that I cover all these points.
Before we do, Tim, if you don't mind, let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, listening or watching on the podcast today, that if you would like this list, as Tim Stearns has mentioned, he's made it available. All you need to do is pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And you're welcome to take some notes, or if you'd like to go through this list on an individual basis with certified financial planner Tim Stearns. Again, the number, 800-640-2256. So Tim, let's dive in. 10 steps to prepare for retirement.
All right, here we go. First of all, define your budget. A lot of people don't know what they're spending, and we tell them, as you're nearing this, look back on your expenses and see what they are. There again, though, people will say, well, you know what? I'm not going to have to pay for gas to go anymore to work, or I don't need a work allowance. But they are going to be taking that trip that they've never been able to do. As you've said in the past podcasts and on our radio show, every day is a Saturday. They can go out to eat every night, which costs money. So that's number one, define your budget. Number two, define what your guaranteed sources of income are. You want to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting for Social Security. I had a gentleman in here the other night with his wife, and he said, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really gone on SSA.gov. It's really easy. Sign up. Make sure you go out there and take a look at it. If you have pensions, go out and look at your pensions, and make sure that if you have a pension, they do give you a lump sum option. Not the worst idea to take, because there are stuff that, there's stuff that you can do that are better than that, because really that's an asset of the company. And if God forbid a company goes out of business, that could hurt your pension.
Absolutely.
So define your sources of guaranteed income.
Well, these two steps, Tim, are sort of taking this complicated, obfuscated math equation with lots of unknowns, kind of an algebra type of thing, and you're beginning to fill in those blanks and turning it into a pretty simple math equation.
Right. And we even have a worksheet that we can show people this. But the next step is kind of like linked into the define your sources of guaranteed income. Define your income gap. Once you've done all this, you have a budget, you know what you're spending, you have your guaranteed income. All right. You minus that off, you're going to know what your income gap is. Everyone should know, what are you missing out on? What are you going to need to take from your 401k or what have you? from your savings. So define your income gap. Another thing that we do, and this is the next step, strategize on Social Security. I have people come in here and go, oh, I'm going to take it at age 62. For sure, that's when I'm eligible. And we'll run through an income allocation plan, and they don't need to do that right away. That whatever you do at that point, you're affecting your spouse too. So that's another reason to strategize on Social Security. The other thing I'll brag about is that we have access to a Social Security software that we can optimize it and tell you, yeah, you're right. You should be taking it at 62, or maybe you should wait for your full retirement age, 66, 67 years old.
Well, Tim, this is a benefit that we've literally worked a lifetime to build up what we are entitled to. We want to make the most out of it and get everything we can, because that's going to lessen the strain and stress and reliance on our personal nest egg and give us a little bit more security down the road, isn't it?
Agreed. And again, whatever you do with that, you're gonna affect your spouse too. Maybe your husband or wife stayed at home with the kids and doesn't have a lot of earnings that they paid into Social Security. Maybe holding off till your full retirement age, or better yet, maybe wait till age 70 is an option. Either way, before you retire, you should do an optimization of Social Security. And we have the best software. I'll brag about that all day long. People really like using it.
So, Tim, I have yet to hear you say once you reach $1 million, you're ready to retire, or once you hit 65, you're ready to retire. Those arbitrary numbers, a lump sum or a specific age, they're not in this process of the 10 steps to prepare for retirement. This truly, so far, has been figuring out, are we financially prepared to retire through a math equation?
Totally. It's you boil it down. We'll be at a Christmas party, a dinner party. People are talking about different things, and they'll say to me, I have $1 million. Is that enough? My answer right back to them, I don't know. How would you know? With you don't go to the doctor and go, I have this bump. What should I do? The doctor's going to take a look at it and go through a process, right? Well, this is a process, and I will tell everyone out there in America that you should be doing an income allocation plan before you retire, because if you're not ready to retire, it's hard when you find that out at age 80 and you've run out of money.
Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, Mom used to say.
It's so true.
Well,
so
again,
true.
if you'd like to sit down with certified financial planner Tim Stearns and go through that income planning, that income allocation process, or if you'd like this list of the 10 steps to prepare for retirement, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, you go into detail on strategizing on Social Security and the pensions, because again, a complex decision, and it's not the job of the folks down at the Social Security Administration office or your company with the pension to help you make that decision. Their job is simply to file the paperwork when you tell them to. Right.
And that's something you need to be wary of, because basically you're looking at going into it in the dark. I would tell anyone that is going, you don't get more than one shot at an ideal retirement. You and I talk about that all the time. So why not go into it with someone that can help you? I don't do my own dentistry. I go to a dentist. These are things that you need to have help with. I don't care if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you've done that your whole life and that's the way to be. Go through an income allocation plan, not a spreadsheet that you've come up with. Come see us and we'll take care of it, and make sure that you do understand what you're going through. There's no obligation. It can't hurt.
And step 5 on this list, Tim, something that you specifically spend a lot of time doing. And in fact, this is what the book that you make available, Income Allocation, is really all about. It boils down to this one, but formulating that income plan, that's part of the process.
Right. And that's, I would say, over 95% of Americans don't have an income plan. And the other people that do have either come to see us or they've come up with their own method that their spouse doesn't even understand. So, and they haven't taken into effect inflation, Medicare, et cetera. We know what those costs are. You can extrapolate all you want, but we know what they are. And, some of these people come in with these plans from other companies and they have, an illustration for 8%. Well, the market doesn't work like 8%, 8%, 8% compounding every year. As we saw in March, it does go down. It went down 24.3%. Those are real things that you need to be able to take into effect, that if that is you when you're retiring, you'll still be able to retire.
Well, again, if you would like this list, if you would like to go through that process, if you would like the book, the Essential Retirement Planning Strategy Guidebook that describes the income allocation method, the title of the book, Income Allocation, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, next on the list, understanding your risk exposure. Now, I've got to play devil's advocate here. It's a list of 10 steps. So you've oversimplified this one. That's probably a long process of understanding and identifying that risk or all of those risks that we're exposed to.
Right. I would agree with that. And we're seeing people, I'm going to use the word getting greedy again, where the market, it rebounded right away. What I wonder is, what does the federal government have left in their tank to prop this thing up? That scares me. So I make sure that when we go through the income allocation plan, we're actually doing risk analysis. And our program, I'll put it up against anyone's. It's much better than I've seen from any other company. Then we also do Morningstar so that they understand if they're diversified, but understand your risk exposure. Bonds aren't the safe investment they were when I started in the business in 1990s. They are not the place to be sometimes. That was the flight to safety. It's not. And a lot of people, they don't even understand what they have in their portfolio.
Well, Tim, I heard kind of an analogy about risk, and it stuck with me. And the analogy went something like, if I want to get to a certain place, say if I want to drive from Chicago to St. Louis, I know that takes about 4.5 hours if I'm going the speed limit, right? I could absolutely get there quicker. I could double my speed and get there much, much quicker. But I also increase the risk of having a serious auto accident or running into an employee of the state and getting a pretty sizable ticket. So that risk and reward ratio, getting there faster, is it worth the additional risks? And we've got to identify what risks we are facing. It's the 6th step in your prepare for retirement 10 steps, but it's something that's going to take really some detailed planning. And we got to identify both the risk to our assets and, with retirement, maybe more importantly, Tim, the risks to our income.
Agreed. Because, and that's one of the things we talk about is sequence of returns risk. If you go into retirement during a bull market, chances are you'll be okay. But if you go into a bear market, like what we saw in March, and it's sustained, like we've seen in Japan for many, many years, that can devastate your retirement. And that throws the whole plan out the window. So that's the greatest thing about our plan, is that we take into effect if there is a hiccup in the market, that we're able to still get exposure to the markets, but we have some stop losses maybe in there. And then we also have some fixed income products that are going to pay out rain or shine, no matter what's going on in the world.
Well, again, if you would like to know if you are ready to retire, or how much you need to retire, or how much income you can generate in retirement, or what risks you are exposed to into and throughout retirement, pick up the phone and give Chicagoland's certified financial planner, Tim Stearns, a call. He's happy to provide you with this list, 10 steps to prepare for retirement. He's happy to provide you with the book, Income Allocation, or the big offer. If you would like to sit down and really work on your plan with an experienced, qualified professional, a certified financial planner, no cost, no obligation, pick up the phone now and give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, we've defined our budget, defined our sources of guaranteed income, defined the income gap. Again, that's that math equation. We've strategized to help optimize Social Security and pensions, and then formulate that income plan. From there, we're understanding the risks that we are exposed to and identifying those. And another big one, it's probably one of our largest known expenses in retirement, Tim, taxation. We've got to take taxation into effect.
Right. And a lot of times we'll go through a budget with somebody, like we talked about the very first step, and we'll say, okay, does that include, is that a gross number of what you're bringing in, or like, why, what about it? Well, the IRS has plans for your money. And, when you come into retirement rather, you're going to look at the fact that most of your money, especially for baby boomers, that's all they've ever put money into, are qualified plans. Qualified being IRAs, 401ks, that type of thing. And when they pull money out, IRS has never hit that with a tax. And so they let you put in, let's say for this year, $19,500. And then down the road, when I'm retired and I'm 70 years old, maybe that's worth $200,000. Now I'm paying the taxes. So is that, are you understanding that concept? So when I get a dollar out of my IRA, out of my 401k, it's not a true dollar. It's, it could be 25 cents off, 30 cents off, and I'm netting 70 cents, maybe 75 cents. So, you have to be cognizant of the fact that there are taxes, and taxes are unavoidable, as they say.
So, Tim, if I want to spend $5,000 a month in retirement, that does not mean that I need $5,000 a month in retirement. Social Security is going to be taxable, at least can be taxable, and likely will be taxable. Pensions
thresholds, right,
are going to be taxable. Any kind of withdrawal that I'm making from a tax-deferred retirement account, 100% taxable as income. We have to plan on gross numbers. We have to include taxation into this math equation. And I know that's another area where you spend a lot of time helping people get a grasp on that, reverse engineering it, really figuring out what that bill is going to look like and what they're actually going to get to keep to spend.
Well, yeah, and to your point, we have a CPA on staff, so we make sure that we want to be, for a lack of a better term, one-stop shopping for people. We have planning here, we have stockbrokers, we have a CPA, we also have an estate attorney, but we have to understand what the taxes effect are going to be on a person's retirement.
Well, again, if you would like help with that, if you would like to identify strategies to minimize that lifetime tax liability, certified financial planner Tim Stearns can help you with that. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Another aspect of TJ Stearns Inc. and your business there, Tim, that I have come to know is valuable for your clients. You actually work in-house with a tax planner advisor to help craft people's plans.
Right. And a lot of people have their own CPA, and that's fine too. But make sure that he's well-versed in what we're doing here, planning, because some of the people, they just are filers. They don't really get into the dynamics of someone being retired. So we're always working, to make sure that Joe, our CPA here, is up to speed on what we're doing. And then we're up to speed with what the new changes are, including the Secure Act, which a lot of people don't know, ain't much about that. That changed the whole landscape of retirement for most people. So we want to make sure that people understand, we're here, we can help you. There's no obligation. If it doesn't fit, then, we don't work together. But most cases we can help somebody, whether finding a need that they have or a lack of something that they have in their retirement, we can do that.
It is a quick list. It's great to work through, talk through with your spouse, your loved ones, your friends, your family. 10 steps to prepare for retirement. But Tim Stearns, a certified financial planner, will go in depth in each one of these steps in the detailed retirement planning strategy session. So whether you would like just the list or you would like to go through that process and truly craft and create and structure and implement that plan for your secure, confident retirement, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Next on the list, Tim, consolidating like-titled accounts. There's really only so many types of accounts out there, right? And a lot of people have multiples that are kind of scattered all over the place. Kind of makes it difficult to plan for retirement.
Well, in a lot of cases, you see people who have left companies that have left their 401ks out there, and they, you know what, I might have something over at XYZ company. I don't know what happened with it. That could have been his pension for all I know. We need to make sure that we understand exactly where all the bodies are buried, as they say, and we want to have it so the fact that we know what all the assets are to do the income allocation plan. Not only that, but if you have multiple, let's say IRAs at different companies too, you're paying fees every year, for that. Why not just have one fee and consolidate your assets into that account? So those are things we do, and we'll help people track down their old 401ks. I had a guy who had moved 3 times and had forgotten about $400,000 he had at a company until he did our income allocation plan. He said, I might have that. And we had to track it down because the company had changed into another company. And it turned out to be $400,000.
Wow. Well, definitely a benefit of going through that process. But Tim, we're not going to lose out on diversification if we consolidate accounts, right? I mean, we've been told don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's not what you're talking about. This is not negating that fundamental foundational financial principle, correct?
No, not at all. And if anything, if your 401k is still locked up in an old company that you're at, why? you're beholden to what they have. We have so many different products. With being a broker, we can work with any company that we want. We're not captive to anybody, and we're not told to sell a certain product. One size doesn't fit all here. So we'll find the products that are correct for the person and diversify them.
Well, again, if you would like help and assistance from a certified financial planner, pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Another factor, Tim, that you include in your planning, that you encourage people to include in their 10 steps to prepare for retirement, that unfortunately is often overlooked: inflation. And we've had previous programs where we go in depth talking about this factor specifically, but it's one that simply can't be overlooked.
Right. And that's one of the things in our retirement classes at the universities in the area that I teach at. We talk about that. Make sure you're taking inflation into account. And they'll say, well, why? What's going on with that? Well, the reason being is that your dollar needs to double basically every 22 years. And if it's not, you're not staying up with inflation. A dollar today is not worth the same in 22 years. It's literally $2. It's that simple. So think about, what you used to buy a loaf of bread for, or when I first started driving at age 16, it was 99 cents a gallon, for gas. So things are changing at all times. The economy might not be great. There might be a pandemic going on, but inflation's still there. Something you need to talk about.
Well, Tim, because of the pandemic, they've pumped about $6 trillion of new money into the economy. And
Right.
then the Fed recently said that they're going to loosen the reins on inflation, take
Right.
a little bit more laissez-faire and target a higher inflation rate. So it seems to me like that's a little bit of the tail wagging the dog, kind of an inevitable factor anyway. But nonetheless, we need to consider inflation, and we know that that's going to be a part of our financial future.
Agreed. And that's obviously we've had people come in here with their spreadsheets and they go through all of it and it looks fine and dandy. But I'll say, did you take into account inflation? And they go, oh no, I didn't. And that's something real. I mean, it can really affect what you're doing in retirement.
Finally, on your list here, Tim, reviewing and updating legal documents. I know you're not the attorney, but
No.
as we prepare for retirement, pretty important.
100%. And Mike here, he is unbelievable at getting through. We have people who come in there, they've had maybe a couple marriages, or they have stepchildren that they want to update things. How about this? Beneficiaries that haven't been updated. Their ex-wife or ex-husband's still the beneficiary. Those are the types of things that we'll go through with people and make sure everything's up to date. The rule of thumb I've always heard, even in my classes at DePaul, when I was getting my certified financial planning certificate, is that you need to review that every 5 years because things are always changing, and as your kids get older, things change even more. So make sure that you're looking at that. Mike here can go through that with you. I feel he's affordable. There's some certainly expensive attorneys out there that will do a lot of things. We had one client come in, they changed 3 names in their trust, and the attorney that had written up the trust in the first place charged them $3,000. It's $1,000 a name. That's insane. So those are the types of things we can help people with at all times.
Well, again, at least the simple documents are necessary for everyone's situation. Your situation might be more complex. You may need more complex planning, but you do need to address the legal documents, getting those up to date and review those as you are transitioning and preparing for retirement. Tim Stearns, it's the last step on his list of the 10 steps to plan and prepare for retirement. If you need help with any of those steps, pick up the phone and give certified financial planner, Chicagoland's CFP resource, Tim Stearns, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, you make this list available. You make the book Income Allocation available. You make your time available. Got lots of different ways that you can help to benefit somebody's situation. This program throughout the years has always been for those who are taking their planning and their financial future seriously, but they've got to be interested in and take that first step and take some action as well.
Right. Give us a call, and we could do a Zoom or whatever to get to know each other. And then we are doing in-person meetings, and, we can wear masks and all that good stuff, that people are going through. I don't want to get anyone sick, and I don't want to get sick myself. So we're happy to do that. And, again, we could do a Zoom, we could do a conference call, whatever works. It has been working for us. business is better than ever because I think people are very concerned about what's going on out in the world. We can help you.
Again, the number 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Final question here, Tim. I know you don't have the crystal ball, but through 2018, through 2019, you said that there was some correction coming. We saw it with COVID, went down 31% in 20 some odd days, but it has bounced back up. Do we need to look at this as an opportunity to maybe better position ourselves for more protection and security into the future?
We just had a gentleman in here the other day, and I told him we need to take some money off the table. You're taking too much risk. And he was 63 that day. So yeah, these are different things at different times. Let's not get greedy, America. Cut it back. Cut back the exposure that you have to the stock market. Remember how you felt for those 20 days, when the market just free fell. It was terrible. And, in most cases, people lost a lot, and now they've bounced back. I don't think it's real. I think it's smoke and mirrors. I really do. And I think that there's going to be another drop. I don't have a silver ball, like you said, but I do think that that's something that can happen.
Well, again, certified financial planner Tim Stearns here to help and assist. If you would like an experienced, qualified advisor guiding you or providing perspective and insight on your situation, helping you identify areas that need attention, red flags, or strategies to be more efficient with your money, pick up the phone and give a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, we always appreciate your time. Thank you for being our resource here on Protect and Grow and the resource for Chicagoland area savers and investors.
All right, Peter, we'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.